Hello and good morning. So this is a request I've been reminded to do a couple of times now. This is the Cobra versus the Bad News. That is to say, Apophis from Silent Line versus Gabe from Last Raven. Both of them are overheat-centric ACs, with the Cobra generally having a better collection of ranged weapons, whereas the that is to say, close and mid-range and all that. Whereas the Bad News is really just kind of mid-range, and that's it, with a little bit of an ammo concern. If for some reason it manages to miss with all of its stuff, actually those arms seem to have very, very good accuracy when it comes to Formula Front. So the one weapon that was removed off of the Cobra was the triple rockets. Those got replaced with a radar because this thing, well, it didn't have any radar to speak of, so it was going incredibly derpy whenever it actually was in a fight. Thing is, if you have a close range AC with no radar in Formula Front, it kind of runs to a situation where they get close, the other guy moves to the side, and then they're standing there thinking, what could I possibly do about this situation? Why did they disappear? Why do I have no friends? And they'll just stand there, looking side to side, and be very confused. So there we go. Cobra wins the first one. I'm glad about this, as Gabe Glow feels a little bit offensive. Mostly because, okay, this guy, I'm pretty sure everyone beat him their first time around when it came to Last Raven. He's not a challenging fight. I think I recall losing to him once, which was when I was testing out how well crossback could function in that one. And I think that was the point at which that build couldn't actually progress any further. And it just seemed weird that he's like dubiously effective in Formula Front against most things. But luckily, so is the Cobra. But he appears to be roasting him with pretty decent efficiency here. I think it's safe to say he'll probably end up winning it, although now that there's some range... I don't know. So he's actually been switched to the Vulture from the Vulture 2s. Vulture 2s are what he normally ends up using. That is to say, he usually uses the Mares in Sound Line. But the Vulture just generally fit him better, plus also the Vulture 2s weren't available. But this works. Right, surprisingly, the Bad News pulled out a win. Okay, cool. Time to give it a round 3 then. There we go. Just loving these close-range maps, aren't we, game? Alright, well, here we go again. This one absolutely has to go to the Cobra. I tried to match his AI as much as I could, as per usual, and I think he turned out pretty alright. He kind of does this whole thing, stays with this kind of range, switches out to his linear gun every now and then. When he had the rockets, he just preferred the rockets all the time. That's the main reason I ended up switching him for the linear gun. He would just flat out ignore his right flamethrower and use the rockets, which I don't blame him. That's kind of the sensible thing to do in most cases. Personally, I'm a pretty big fan of rockets in this series, though they oftentimes get a bad rap. Just it's mostly just a change of mindset to make them work. A lot of times people are thinking, hey, I have to go actually hit the other guy. It's like, no, you figure out the other guy's pattern and you make them run into your shots. That's how you use rockets. But anyhow, looks like he's had some lock-on issues. Oh, you know what? Looks like Gabe is gonna get him. Dang. Alright. Well, he's kind of in the corner now. He's got to pull out a win or he's gonna lose. Man, talk about redundant statements that, oddly enough, aren't terribly unfitting. Anything ways. Alright, now we're in a hangar. Surely... well, actually, no, this could end up favoring Bad News. Just because he could do the whole hit-and-run thing here. Although he's not going to get... well, those things do some decent damage even before his heat damage kicks in. Oof. Okay, roasted him. camera angle is the most disorientating thing ever. Okay, never mind. Cobra's got the advantage so far. Little Gabe here is having a hard time with tracking. Okay, there goes there. Oh, crap. We're going to round 5. Wow. He just smacked him down with a prejudice. Also, I love how the lights of that head were still sticking out through all the smoke. Pretty awesome. Like, yes, I'm still back here. And there we are. And mode. This is looking very Gabe favorable. Gabe favorable? Favorable? I can't words today. Words are difficult and complicated. Yeah, no. Gabe's got this one. This is all him right now. And Cobra's overheated, outranged. Actually just took out that ECM pod, so he's got a chance to hit the other guy at least. Is this one of the... Is this a remix of one of the Nexus tracks? I know I've heard this before somewhere, and this feels like a very Nexus-like map. And the sound of it is very kind of Nexus-y. I don't know. He's doing okay dodging so far. Nah, he's getting wrecked. Never mind, he's gone. Alright, well there you go. Turns out, friggin' the bad news here is still a friggin' formidable AC. So, yeah, let me know if you've got any more requests, and, I will put them together at some point. Thank you, and have a